The healing isn't in making yourself do stuff before you're ready. The healing is one day you're just there. It's kind of like springtime. Yeah, I was telling such a great story and I was really sticking to it. And then I realized that I had not selected the microphone. So it was recording nothing. Hooray. Okay, back to the story that I was already telling you so beautifully, but that we have lost all record of, and it will remain a mystery for the rest of our lives. Okay, I have been doing a project lately where I am going through all of my saved passwords and I am either moving them over to a new password app, or I am reaching out to like the website, the company, wherever I have the account, and deleting my account data because I don't use it. And therefore, why am I going to cart the password around? The third thing that I'm doing is going in and changing over like the username to my new email address that I'm setting up, and changing my passwords that are weak or reused, which, just a PSA, if you're still using a password that you first made in college and you are almost 40, you should change your passwords. That's just a pro tip. I don't know anybody who would do that. In case any of you do that, we shouldn't do it. Okay, great. Good talk. So, step 1 is go in, log in, make sure that the account is actually accurate. Sometimes I have to reset a password in order to get into that account in order to either update the thing or delete the data. So I'm cruising through the alphabet. I'm not going as fast as I would like to, but I'm gonna pick up the pace here. I'm currently in the G's, which means a lot of Google accounts got looked at today. I actually deleted a couple old Google accounts that I don't use anymore. What else have I done? I deleted an account for this thing called, I want to say Goodbelly, but it's not Goodbelly. Goldbelly, where I got a gift card from a company that I freelanced for. They sent me like a gift card as like an onboarding, like, hey, welcome. Get a cheesecake on us or whatever. Like you can order different desserts and stuff from like anywhere around the United States, maybe other countries. I don't know. So I had to make an account to use the gift card. And then later when I got my 1099 from that company, I was also taxed on the receipt of this gift card, which I find a little humorous and a little capitalist, and I don't love it, but that's fine. The cheesecake was okay. Okay. So deleted that account, deleting lots of accounts, especially for things that like I would sign up, like see what the thing was all about, you know, because it's like, oh, log in to see our full blah, 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 blah. So you just end up making accounts. You're making up passwords for everything. And suddenly you have a giant wasp nest full of passwords saved in your LastPass. And that's too much, man. It's too much. So I'm doing this sort of spring cleaning where I'm going through, and the reason that I am not simply downloading all the data and transferring it over to Proton Pass, which is what I'm using now, I'm switching from Google to Proton because Proton is very upfront and clear that they will not use your material to train AI. And I no longer trust Google and therefore decided to stop giving them my money. I don't give them much of my money, but I'm going to stop doing it anyway. So I didn't want to just save everything and then re-upload it because there's a lot of old passwords. There's a lot of passwords that have been changed. There's a lot of accounts that I want to just delete the data for. And so I have chosen to go into this project, and it's like a river cleanup. I'm like, all I see right now is trash. But I will slowly begin to clean up the trash, and then a beautiful river of organized information and strong passwords will flow once again. I have literally never just sat down and gone through all of my passwords before. So at the ripe age of 37 and a couple of weeks, I'm doing a little InfoSec sweep, and I highly recommend that you do that. Join me in a little mundane spring cleaning task. It actually feels really satisfying as I see the number of saved passwords go down in LastPass and grow in Proton. I'm like, oh, I've moved 68 passwords so far. And whatever, you got to find small joys, right? Because I'm going to let this be a small joy for today, cleaning up my passwords. So what I really wanted to tell you about is that back in the D section, I logged into Dropbox and was accosted by old marriage era stuff. save the dates, wedding invitations, like documents that I wrote for my ex when he had like a photography business. I wrote like a model release and stuff for him so that he would have like standard paperwork. Why the fuck couldn't he have done that himself? I see now. I see why I was so crucial and critical to the infrastructure of his life, because he didn't have to do anything, because his secretary fuck Roomba would do it for him. If you find yourself being a secretary fuck Roomba, you don't have to do that. You can go away and make him wash his own underwear. Things I wish somebody had told me at 25. Okay, great. So I'm in this Dropbox and I see the documents. And for a moment, I think maybe I should look at it. I should pull that up and see what it does to me. I just want to see. I just want to know, right? It's like when you pick a scab and you're like, I know that, my body's doing work in there, but I don't know. What if I pick the scab and less blood comes out? Then I know I'm on my way to healing. And it is with this logic that I used to click on the things. I used to open them up. I used to see how bad they still hurt. But this time, I just selected all and deleted, and I let them go into the ether, and I was not bothered by it. It was amazing. And I'm sitting there like, this is personal growth. This is healing. Because past Caitlin would rip the Band-Aid off and go looking and being like, oh, are you still bleeding? Are you still bleeding? And today Caitlin is like, man, I don't care. It is far, far in the past. It's not that far in the past. It's only been 7 years, but it's far enough in the past that I don't care to look up, open up pictures of us. I don't want to see pictures of us. I don't like looking at his face. No, thank you. I don't want to see it. So I just deleted all that. And that made me feel really good. And I think I did it again. Oh, yes. When I got down into the Gmails, one of the Google accounts had an email from an alt Facebook account that I made when I very first started dating him. And I was like, oh, I thought I deleted that Facebook account. And I thought, I'm going to go delete the Facebook account. I'm really enjoying the scrubbing deep into the crevices of my digital footprint right now. So I log into the Facebook account and I go and I just deleted it. You have to go into the settings and then go over here and then click the thing. And then they're like, are you sure? Are you super sure? What if you just deactivated temporarily? And I'm like, no, I know what I desire. I came here. I looked for it. I clicked the button. I'm going to need you to process this. I'll hold your hand, but this Facebook account hasn't been used in a decade and it won't be. So let's delete it. So then I deleted that Facebook. And let me tell you about that Facebook. This was an account that I made upon first meeting my ex-husband. And we kept notes. This is back in the day when Facebook had notes. So we both kept notes, and we would start a new one each month. And then every single day we would write down something that the other one did that delighted us. And at the time I thought this was the most romantic thing I'd ever heard of. And now that I look back, I'm like, that's weird. Were you keeping a list of things to throw in my face if I was ever unhappy? Because it seems like this might be that. Isn't it kind of weird how something can either be a green flag or a red flag, depending on the context? Man, should be a podcast episode. On that note, if you're ever confused between a green and a red flag, what you want to look for is patterns. Are most things red flags? How does this person respond when you say no or you disagree with them? Does this person use nice things that they have done for you as weapons or evidence or some type of smoothing over tool when you are upset about something completely unrelated? All of those things point to manipulation and red flags. If everything they do is I don't know, I'm kind of extra, when it comes to loving my people, I will keep a list of foods you don't like, so that I always remember that you hate peas. And I think that's green flaggy. I would hope so. Because I don't know, if I made you peas when you had already told me that you didn't like peas, I feel like that would be bad of me. So I don't know, if you keep a little journal of amazing things that your partner does, I think that can be very sweet. But when it's done as sort of relationship homework, you have to do it every day. And if you forget, your partner will get a little pissy about it. Maybe not. The reflections are reflecting. All right, I'm coming back. So deleted the Dropbox files, deleted the Facebook account, and I didn't go looking for those notes. And I was very proud of myself again. Cause like, I don't want to look back at the early days of me being groomed and abused and look at all the beautiful things that I thought were lovely, you know? Not today, Satan. So, Satan did not win today, nor did Satan win the day that I was cleaning out the Dropbox folder. And we will see if Satan wins anything else. I feel like I have to be coming up on there is nothing left in my digital life that touches this person. But I don't know. Sometimes you'll get surprised. Sometimes you'll open up a Dropbox that you haven't touched in 7 or 8 years. Shit happens. Okay, so what else do I want to say? Because this is more of like a, I don't know, personal update podcast than like a I'm going to teach you something podcast. But maybe we're just vlogging today. It's just a vlog today. This is what I've been up to. I like that. That's actually quite nice because most of the people who hang out with me because they like me, not because like, oh, I really love the way Caitlin teaches me a topic that they planned and made a workshop about. I make a good workshop, but also I don't know, sometimes I just talk about stuff and it helps people. That's pretty cool, actually.
Hey, friend. It is time for another round of novel parkour. This time it's going to be a free 3-day workshop. In just 3 days, you're going to be able to take your epiphany, the thought that you had in the shower, and you will have it turned into a pretty robust outline that has enough structure to keep you moving forward on your first draft, but also enough room that you can be flexible when it comes to figuring out how to move from scene to scene, or if you have a plot hole, you're going to learn how to not get stuck in that plot hole. So this is specifically designed because I have ADHD for ADHD writers. So the autism wants a plan, the ADHD wants to frolic, and novel parkour is like my secret ingredient somewhere between plotting and pantsing is novel parkour. This is an approach that helps you put flexible boundaries around your writing process to complete your first draft without getting bogged down in super niche details and having to know exactly what genre you're writing in. And through this process, you're not only going to come away with resources to actually write your outline and get to know the details of your book and have sort of a framework for how to build those details, but you're also going to come away with the knowledge that your first draft will be messy, and that's actually perfectly according to plan. So please come join me. We are going to be spending 3 days together in May 2025. It's the 16th through the 18th. You can go ahead and grab your spot on my website, and then I'll see you in May. Novel parkour. It's going to be awesome.
Something else that has been coming up for me in my client sessions, like my one-on-one coaching clients, is one, the idea of like patience and putting in the day-to-day effort, even though you don't see progress right away. That can be very difficult. It's just things take time. So I have one client who is starting a Substack, and she's like, so I sent out my first email and I told all my friends about it, and I've posted about it like a couple times. And then my brain just wanted to know, like, well, when is this going to be like making a living for me? When is this going to be everything I need it to be? And we had to talk like really realistically about the idea of like being still for a while and just doing the motions, send out the emails, like do it, write your story, put it out in the world, but you can't ask it for anything specific. Not yet. Like you can't ask, I think Julia Cameron has something about this in The Artist's Way. And also I think Elizabeth Gilbert has said something like this in like Big Magic, but you can't like demand of your art that it takes care of you. That will set you up for a lot of stress, and that will set up your relationship with your art for a lot of stress. So like I can tell you for sure, when I was working on the first draft of my book, it felt so fun. Like it was not hard to do. The story just sort of flowed and I let it flow. And then in the revisions since then, when I'm trying to like morph it into something that will be like very marketable and I want it to sell well, once I start expecting these things of it, it gets so much harder to write. And so my work lately has been getting back to that, just the flow, fun state of it, and not asking it to perform for me. Like I am in a relationship with my book, with my novel, with my story, and we have to work together And then, if it's something that I think should go out into the world, I can let it out into the world. Sometimes I think that this story was for me to process a lot of stuff. And so I'm like, I don't know if I'm telling this story anymore, or if maybe I need to just shelve it and work on a totally different one. Like I've got this idea for I don't know what time period. I don't know, 1800s. When was the plague? I don't know. Like a Beauty and the Beast era, like a little village in France, and there's a witch, and the witch is a midwife, and she was an orphan as a child. And so she was taken in by the previous witch midwife and was taught magic. And then when she grows up and takes over the witch midwife role, an orphan shows up at her doorstep, and there's sort of this generational magic thing happening. But it's once a generation, somebody will become orphaned and go and be taken care of by this person. And then they learn the trade and they pass it on. So I've got that idea going on in my head. And I think we might work on that for a while instead of my other novel, because my other novel, I keep trying to make it work instead of play. And it's fighting me as it should. It should fight me because I'm not treating it the way I should be treating it. I should be treating it like we are at a trampoline park and we are doing backflips. And instead I'm like, what if you were a bestseller? I can't ask that of my book. Ugh. So when I figure out how to go to a trampoline park with my novel, I think it'll be time to work on that again. In the meantime, the day you plant the seed is not the day you eat the fruit. And writing a book is like that, and starting a business is like that, and learning to love again is like that. You have to put the seed in the dirt, and then a lot of it is just waiting. You have to take care of the soil. You have to make sure that there are nutrients in the soil. You have to watch for pests and weeds. You have to make sure that the seed is getting adequate sunlight and water. But you can't make that seed grow any faster than a seed grows. Nothing that you do can make it go faster. And that's the same for growth, right? That's the same as, 5 years ago, if I was cleaning out my passwords and I opened up Dropbox, I probably wouldn't be able to make myself just delete them. I would make it a moral quandary. I would be like, you'd be more healed if you just deleted these. But that's not where the healing is. The healing isn't in making yourself do stuff before you're ready. The healing is one day you're just there. It's kind of like springtime. I used to drive through the Cuyahoga Valley National Park. No, it wasn't the national park. It was the Cleveland Metro Parks. So I drive through the Cleveland Metro Parks on my way to work. This was in Rocky River, the Rocky River Reservation. If you're up around Cleveland, it's beautiful down there. And there's this amazing tree and really great hiking and walking trails. I used to go running with a friend down there all the time. And I would drive through every single day because it was just more peaceful than sitting in traffic on the surface streets. It took about the same amount of time, maybe even a couple more minutes, but it was worth it to me to drive through the nice, pretty nature on my way home and on my way to work than to just sit in traffic and look at buildings go by. So I'm driving. It's early springtime. The trees are all still naked and wintry. And then the trees start to look a little kind of fuzzy, spring's coming and they're starting to bud. They just start getting a little bit textured. And then one day I'm driving through and there's blossoms and there's leaves and it's completely alive. And even though I was there every single day, it still felt like just overnight somebody changed the set and was like, okay, now bring in the trees with the leaves on them. It was a completely different experience, but it was happening a little tiny bit at a time. And that's kind of how healing works, in my opinion, is if you're looking really closely at it, you can probably find evidence that you're changing. But what's really going to do it is just being with yourself every day and just sort of observing the way that you move around the world. And you'll notice some things start to feel less bad. If you're grieving, maybe every single day you wake up thinking of that person that you're grieving. And then one day you wake up and they're not the first thing on your mind. You remember them 2 hours later. And you might feel guilty. You might sit there and be like, I must not have loved my mother if she's not the first thing I think about when I wake up for the rest of my life. And that's just a story that you make up. That's not real. That's not how we measure love. And that's not how grief works. If you let that be okay, maybe there's a day that goes by where, you think about your mom, but it doesn't knock you to your knees. And maybe there's a day that you open up your Dropbox, you see old stuff, and it doesn't punch you in the gut. And you can just say, that's not for me anymore, and delete those files. Or you can just think like, thinking good thoughts for my mom. I miss you. I love you. I'm living my best life. I think you'd be proud of me. And you can just move on with your day. So I actually managed to tell like 3 kind of unrelated stories that were all related. We got the passwords, which you should update your passwords, friends. Information security is very important. We got the healing, the Dropbox and the Facebook deletions. And we have growth. It takes time and you can't really scrutinize it and you can't make it happen any faster. It's just going to happen as it happens. So with all of that, this has been a vlog, I guess. Some updates. Hopefully some part of this little storytelling today, I don't know, inspired you to make a little change in your life. A special shout out to our Patreon supporters for May. These are people who have signed up in April and therefore are supporting the podcast financially in May. We have 24 supporters this month. Yay! Thank you. And here are your beautiful names. We have Eileen, Alexis, Amaris, Amy, Atan, Avery, Bay, Beth, Brennan, Casey, Shelb, Deidre, Emily, Frankie, Jacqueline, Jesse, Kitty, Max, Mia, Nell, Nicola, Samaya, Stephanie, and Teresa. So when you support the Patreon, not only do you get a shout out in the podcast credits, you get to hang out with me at least once a month. I think I'm moving that up to like a weekly hangout. So you can just absorb the vibe, ask me questions. I'll give you advice. We'll do whatever. There's exclusive merch on some of the tiers. And you will also get access to exclusive writing. Sometimes I do like horror movie reviews. Like last October, I did 31 horror movies in 31 days and I wrote about the whole thing. So sometimes we'll do little projects like that. And I would love to start a movie club where we watch movies together and do sort of like a Mystery Science Theater 3000 style, like not necessarily critique, perhaps a roast of some bad movies together. And it's a very communal space. It's very driven by what the people in there want. So come aboard. It's only $3 a month to start out. There's other tiers, obviously, but everybody gets the same benefits. And hopefully we'll see you over there. Thank you to our beautiful contributors, and see you guys later.